What if the person you trusted most was the architect of your destruction? This is not a story about answers. This is a story about what happens when you finally ask the right question. The apartment is a war room. Walls covered in photos, strings connecting faces, red circles around key images. Post-it notes with frantic handwriting. Newspaper clippings yellowed with age. Adrian Cole stands in the center, bourbon in hand, studying the web they've created. It's been 3 years. 3 years since the blackout. 3 years since waking up in a hospital with 6 months of memories missing. The doctors said it was a breakdown. Stress-induced amnesia. But Adrian knows better. Journalists don't forget stories. They bury them. The phone buzzes. Unknown number. Adrian stares at it, lets it ring twice, then answers. Who is this? A distorted voice responds. Mechanical. Cold. You're looking in the wrong places, Adrian. The story you're chasing, you already wrote it. 10 years ago. Adrian's hand tightens on the glass. Who are you? How did you get this number? The voice continues. Check your old files. The ones you thought you deleted. Patient 0. Pre-pharmaceuticals. You were so close to publishing. Until they made you forget. The glass shatters. Blood drips onto the floor, mixing with bourbon. The line goes dead. Adrian rushes to the computer, fingers trembling. Opens archived folders. Encrypted files from a decade ago. The password prompt appears. Adrian tries everything. Names, dates, addresses. Nothing works. Then, almost on instinct, types a single word. Mira. The files open. A pristine office. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Minimalist furniture. Everything white in chrome and glass. Dr. Mira Strand sits behind a desk, perfectly composed. Not a hair out of place. Every gesture measured. Every word carefully chosen. Adrian enters, hand bandaged. The receptionist said this was about the memory suppression article. Mira stands, extends her hand. Mr. Cole. Thank you for coming. I've been following your work for some time. Adrian doesn't take the hand. It's just Adrian. And I don't shake hands. Something flickers across Myra's face. Too quick to read. Of course. Please, sit. I understand you're writing about memory suppression therapy. Fascinating topic. Controversial, certainly. But fascinating. Adrian sits, doesn't break eye contact. Is it? Most people find it terrifying. The idea that someone could reach into your mind and just erase parts of you. Like deleting files from a hard drive. Mira leans back, fingers steepled. Most people don't understand what it's like to live with memories that destroy you. Memories that make every waking moment unbearable. Memories that drive people to desperate measures. Adrian pulls out a recorder. Places it on the desk between them. So you're saying memory suppression is merciful? I'm saying it's a choice. Sometimes the only choice. And who gets to make that choice? Myra's eyes narrow slightly. The person suffering. Who else? Adrian leans forward. What about when that person can't consent? When they're too far gone? When someone else decides for them? A long pause. The city hums below them. Myra's expression doesn't change, but her hands grip the armrests a fraction tighter. Then we trust the people who love them to make the right decision. Adrian makes a note. And you've performed this procedure? Many times. Successfully? Define success. The patient survives. Mira smiles, but it doesn't reach her eyes. Survival isn't always the goal, Adrian. Sometimes it's about quality of life. About giving someone a chance to be whole again, even if that wholeness looks different than before. Different how? Mira stands, walks to the window. Tell me, What do you remember about 3 years ago? Adrian's blood runs cold. I'm here to interview you, Dr. Strand. Mira turns, backlit by the city. And yet you can't remember why you stopped being a journalist. Why you gave up the biggest story of your career. Why you woke up in a hospital with no memory of how you got there. Adrian stands, knocking the chair back. This interview is over. Is it? Or is it just beginning? Jimmy Reeves waits at a corner table, bouncing his leg. Checking his phone every few seconds. Looking over his shoulder. When Adrian arrives, he almost jumps out of his seat. Adrian. Jesus. I wasn't sure you'd come. You said it was urgent. Jimmy pulls out a laptop, angles it away from the other customers. 3 weeks ago, I got hired as an IT contractor at Pre-Pharmaceuticals. Just temporary work, you know? Money's been tight since my sister got sick. Anyway, I'm installing new security software when I stumble across these files. What files? Clinical trials. Human trials. Unauthorized, unlicensed, completely off the books. They're testing memory manipulation protocols on terminal patients. People with 6 months, maybe a year to live. People desperate enough to try anything. Adrian sits down slowly. How many patients? Dozens. Maybe hundreds over the years. But here's the thing. Some of the early trials, from about 10 years ago, they have incomplete records. Patient names redacted. Outcomes classified. But I found video files. Therapy sessions. And Adrian, one of them is you. What? Jimmy spins the laptop around. Security footage. Dated 10 years ago. Shows Adrian, younger, thinner, being escorted into a medical facility. The timestamp is from a date Adrian can't remember. I don't understand. Jimmy slides a USB drive across the table. Everything I could recover is on here. But Adrian, you need to be careful. Someone at Pre knows these files were accessed. I've been getting calls. Unknown numbers. Cars parked outside my apartment. Jimmy, if this is dangerous. It's not just dangerous. It's the truth. And isn't that what you do? Find the truth? Adrian takes the drive, feeling its weight in their palm. Used to. Before I forgot how. The apartment, darker now. Late night. Adrian has been at this for hours. Files scattered everywhere. Video player frozen on a single frame. Adrian inserts the USB drive. Files open. Clinical trial documents. Consent forms with signatures redacted. Medical charts with patient numbers instead of names. Psychiatric evaluations. Brain scans showing tumors, lesions, abnormalities. But one file is different. A video. Adrian double-clicks. The screen fills with footage from a therapy room. Institutional gray walls. A chair in the center. Camera angle suggests it's hidden. Surveillance. A patient sits in the chair. Their face is turned away, but something about their posture, their movements, the way they hold their hands. A woman enters the frame. White coat. Dark hair pulled back. She approaches the patient. Starts speaking but there's no audio. She's holding a clipboard. Making notes. The patient turns their head. It's Adrian. Younger. Maybe 35. Face gaunt. Eyes hollowed out. Shaking. The doctor turns to write something on the whiteboard. Profile visible now. It's Dr. Mira Strand. Younger too, but unmistakable. Adrian's breath catches. Hands shake. The video continues. On screen, past Adrian is clearly in distress. Rocking back and forth. Then suddenly, past Adrian looks directly at the hidden camera. As if they know. As if they're looking at their future self. And then past Adrian opens their mouth and screams. Silent on the recording, but the agony is visible. the raw terror. Adrian slams the laptop shut. Backs away from it. Heart pounding. The phone rings. Adrian doesn't answer. It rings again. And again. Finally, Adrian picks up. A familiar voice. Myra's voice. "We need to talk. Tonight. My office. Come alone." The line goes dead. Rain hammering against the windows. The building is empty at this hour. Adrian's footsteps echo in the hallway. The office door is open. Myra stands at the window, silhouetted against the city lights. She doesn't turn when Adrian enters. "You saw the video." Not a question. A statement. "What did you do to me?" Myra finally turns. Her composure is cracking. Eyes red. Makeup smudged. "I did what I had to do. What you asked me to do. I asked you to erase my memory. You asked me to save your life." Adrian moves closer, fists clenched. "Explain. Now." Myra takes a breath. 10 years ago, you came to me as a patient. You'd been investigating pre-pharmaceuticals for months. You'd discovered they were using terminal patients for illegal neural experiments. You had evidence. Witnesses. You were about to publish the story of the decade. So what stopped me? You collapsed during an interview. Seizure. By the time the ambulance arrived, you'd had 3 more. At the hospital, they found a brain tumor. Glioblastoma. Stage 4. Inoperable. Adrian's legs weaken. "That's not possible. I've never had cancer. I would remember." "You don't remember because I made sure you wouldn't. You were dying, Adrian. 6 months, maybe less. The tumor was aggressive. The stress from your investigation was accelerating its growth. Every time you thought about the story, every time you looked at your evidence, your symptoms got worse. So you just deleted it. Deleted the biggest story of my career? Deleted 6 months of my life? I deleted the memories that were killing you. The investigation. The stress. The fear. The pain. All of it." Adrian's voice cracks. "You had no right. You gave me that right. You came to me, barely coherent, begging me to make it stop. You said you'd rather forget everything than spend your last weeks in agony. I don't believe you." Myra walks to a filing cabinet. Pulls out a folder. Throws it on the desk. Your signature. On the consent forms. On the waiver. On the letter you wrote to yourself in case you ever found out. Adrian opens the folder with trembling hands. There, in their own handwriting, a letter. "To whoever I become. I know I'm making a choice I can't take back. I know I'm asking Dr. Strand to erase parts of me. But the pain is unbearable. The tumor is winning. If erasing my memories gives me a few more months of peace, then it's worth it. Please don't blame her. She's giving me a gift. The gift of forgetting." Signed. Dated. Notarized. Adrian looks up at Myra, eyes wet. "Did it work? The procedure? Am I cured?" Myra's silence is answer enough.
If you enjoyed this story, smash that like button. Subscribe now for more jaw-dropping mysteries, and share this with everyone. They need to see this. Share your thoughts. Comment below. Thanks for watching. See you soon.